Yeah, so somebody wanted me to talk about Mighty Mortal Launcher, the new Iron Legion. And, his base stats don't look that great until you look closer at them. 5 movement speed, 3,300 DPS, you know, 2-second force swing, only a 50% chance to freeze, but it is 5 seconds. What does the Conjure even do? The Conjure doesn't do anything, all it does is zombie kill. But Zombie Killer is basically a mini Holy Blast because it gives you something to consistently zombie kill with a large range. It also has 100,000 HP, which is pretty good considering 465 range and 4 knockbacks. Durability is 25,000, which is actually really good. 3,300 DPS doesn't look that good, or 3,400 DPS. But I think what people do with Explosion is they effectively double the DPS. So this is actually 6,800 DPS with this much range against everything, as well as a really good freeze against Zombie and Aku while having really good immunities. Immunities to Toxic and Surge does increase usage quite a bit, while also having this much of like area to cover with no blind spot, by the way, with Zombie Killer. I feel like this is going to be the overlooked thing, is that not a lot of zombie killers actually have a lot of like involved range, which is actually why Catapult became so good with Ultra Form, just simply because of how much range it has. And so like, it just, gives it that much, like it doesn't have as much, area coverage as Catapult does, but the Explosion does not increase freeze odds. No. That's not how that works. It's kind of like Wave and Surge. It carries out the freeze whenever it happens. So if the freeze happens in the base hit, it'll happen in the Explosion. It does not change. Only multi-hit changes the odds. Explosion is the same as Wave and Surge. They do not have their own odds. They have they copy the effect of the original hit. Keep that in mind. Do not forget that. Also, chat, I know you guys are having sincere talk. I'm sorry for overlooking it, talking over it, and all that. I'm sorry. Hope everything goes well. I hope everything goes well. I wish the best for everybody. But yeah, and only a 7-second attack frequency with a 5-second freeze. It may only be 50% chance, but that is a long ass freeze. No problem, Brady. You're balling. Thank you. So really good survivability, really good general DPS, really good zombie killing radius, really good immunities to have, really good targeting, and the only problem with it is really recharge time. That's really my only problem with it. And remember, this doesn't even have a true form yet. Bro does not have a true form. But its evolved form is kind of weird. I kind of don't like the design because it's like kind of front heavy and shit, but like, it doesn't even have a true form yet. So like, this is really good for something that has yet to get a true form. I have no idea what it's going to gain in true form. Maybe 100% freeze, maybe more base damage, maybe more immunities, maybe more movement speed. It could gain a lot of things, but whatever it gains, it's already a really good unit. This is already a fantastic unit, already a top tier Iron Legion, better than most of them. Probably, honestly, in my opinion, maybe even better than Dreadnought, who has an Ultra form. Because call me crazy, Dreadnought is still overrated as fuck. Like, as much as I love Dreadnought, he's not that great. Like, I know y'all are gonna hate me for this, but I mean, 480 range is good. 14k DPS, remember that is at level 20 or level 60, so it's more so like at level 30. Like, I don't think the DPS goes up. Well, maybe it does. No, the damage per hit doesn't, but the DPS does because of the attack frequency change. Still really long attack frequency. That's still long, even with the attack frequency lower, and that's not even an attack frequency lower. That's just an attack animation, which this is still relatively long. Recharge time isn't average. It's still above average, but at least it's not this long. Survivability, remember this is at level 60, so it is worse than the other guys. Only 3 knockbacks. Immunity to knockbacks is actually a bad thing, if anything. Massive damage to Red and Zombie. Red doesn't really matter because Red already has so many counters and is very power crept, so it's not really that big of a deal. And Zombie, I mean, it's really good anti-zombie. But, you know, without piercing, it doesn't really have a good way of, like, clearing zombies. At least not as good of a way as the other guy does. As the rock guy. And yes, there are talents. Yes, I know there are talents. Soul Strike is nice, but not really good for this guy. Dodge is fine for survivability. But even with the dodge, I think the survivability is just straight up worse. So like I genuinely believe even with Ultra Form, Mighty Lord of Launch is better. I genuinely believe that. And then also, I don't know if I've talked about Thunderjack before. Like his true form. I have no idea. But somebody in chat just mentioned him, so. But Dreadnought 1 hit Z kills zombies. Oh yeah, I guess the effective damage with massive damage. Yeah, but zombies really aren't that threatening anyways. And like, remember that is requiring an Ultra Form. We're comparing an Evolved Form to an Ultra Form, and the Evolved Form still has plenty of damage. As well as a freeze. So like I like the freeze more than the damage, not gonna lie, especially since it doesn't rely on as long of a attack frequency. And do remember explosion gives it AoE. So I do like Dreadnought's still really good. I still think the new guy's better. But Thunderjack does have a new true form. I think it's nothing special. I'm gonna be honest. Call me crazy. This guy's not that bad. There's only a few threatening zombies. Dreadbore, Cadaver, and Oldstrich. Yeah, Oldstrich. I guess Dreadnought would be really good against Oldstrich just because you can kill him quick, but it's not that much of a threat. Dreadbore. I mean, I honestly think freezing Dreadbore is better than damage. So 1 point for the Boulder guy, 1 point for Dreadnought there. And then they both outrange Cadaver Bear, and freezing it allows for you to like rush it rather than just immediately killing it or whatever. And also do remember Dreadnought can miss, which is pretty big deal. So that's 2 for Boulder, 1 for Dreadnought. So as far as I'm concerned, Boulder guy is better. I say Boulder guy. What the fuck is his name? Mighty Mortar Launcher. But like I was saying, Thunderjack, I think he's already overrated as a unit. He's really only good early game, maybe even mid game, but after early game, he's used to the stages where he's like actually really good are kind of rare. They're pretty fucking rare. And his Aku targeting doesn't change things. Having immunity to Surge is nice. It's nice. But targeting Aku, that's not going to actually be all that useful. That's not going to be all that useful. Gonna be still honest with you. I've used him on floor 44. I'd rather... I mean, I guess he's good against it, but it's still kind of hard to time. And, I mean, when is Hanya not in front of the Clionel? I feel like, whatever. But just use Balrog on 44. Anyways, yeah, so Aku targeting really isn't that good. Like it's really not that good. You love when non-BC gacha game releases a character I've been waiting for a year. Power grab, yeah. Okay, but yeah, so Thunderjack's a really good rusher, really good early game DPSer, really good all that. And honestly, his DPS is still really good generally. And his bulk is good, his recharge time is good, but I mean, knocking back Aku is not going to be that useful since most of them have shields, and this guy did not get Shield Piercer. Not to mention that, like, Akus are pretty fucking strong even without their surge. Even without their death surge and stuff. Akus are pretty fucking strong. He's not lasting long against them. So, I don't think his Aku targeting is all that great. Especially since he doesn't even outrange Condemned Ping. So, like, I gotta go study for my learner's permit and get it. So I'm gonna go. Alright, see you, Magnificent Loaf. But yeah, his Aku targeting really isn't just... It really isn't that good. I think a lot of people had their hopes high for some reason for Thunderjack's true form, but he's a Dark Hero. What do you expect? Dark Heroes almost never actually have good true forms. What makes their true forms good is their talents for the most part. Or their Ultra Form or something. But Thunderjack fell to the same thing as all the others. True form's kind of mid. Like, most of the others got a mid true form as well. It was mostly talents that made them actually good. So like, I have my hopes up for Thunderjack talents because they could give him strengthen, maybe they could give him shield pierce, they could give him more immunities, but like, in my opinion, I still think his I still think these two ones are going. I honestly think his first form is going to continue being the most used form. I think his first form is definitely going to be his most used form because knocking back angels is actually pretty good, thanks to like no plan A and stuff like that, while also being immune to weaken. Immunity to weaken is also really nice. So like really nice sometimes. Like I'm not saying immune to surge is bad. We just don't need more anti-surge damagers. Because like even something like Little King Dragon, all it would take is a couple to be stacked, and they'd probably provide more than Thunderjack, since he would probably go in and die way too quick. Because remember, he doesn't have any survivability. Like he has a decent amount of HP. He has good HP actually for something with 250 range, but he only has one knockback. So like he's gonna die pretty fucking quickly, especially against Aku because they're strong as fuck sometimes. Like bears, elephants, condemned pangs, they're all strong. Even ginger snatches, they're all strong. And knocking them back doesn't really do much for you. But yeah. So I think it's an overrated true form. I think whenever it first got announced, people were like, "Oh my god, it's gonna be so good," forgetting that it's a dark hero. But yeah, YouTube. If you did enjoy it, please do come back for more. I'll see you in the next one. Peace.